Welcome to my kindergarten classroom. Today we're talking about a math toolbox and things that I use in my math toolbox in my classroom. One of the most useful things that I have in my toolbox is a simple deck of cards. I spent $1 on this deck of cards and we have gotten lots and lots of use out of this. This is a great way to teach number recognition, teaching place value, and teaching the concept of greater than, less than. Which one is more than the other card? Which card is more? Which card is less? How many less than 4 is 2? We also have a set of dice in our math toolbox. My dice are foam, which I really like because in a noisy classroom, the clattering of dice can be something that adds to the noise level and can drive a teacher crazy. But with my foam dice, those are nice and quiet, so you don't have that issue. This is a great way of teaching probability, teaching addition, teaching subtraction. You see 3 and 2 equal 5 with this set of dice that I just picked up. We also use a clock. This is a very good way of teaching count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20. This clock is a teaching clock and it has the minute increments on it also. So it's a very good way of teaching numbers up to 60. A new addition to my math toolbox is a set of double six dominoes. $3 at the dollar store. I really like these because, first of all, early in the year they are color coded, and you see this is very interesting. The set of 3 dots is exactly the same placement as the 3 on the dice. You can also teach count by 5s, count by 10s with these dominoes. I also have 2 different kinds of timers that I use in my classroom. I have a regular timer that will count time up to 1 hour. This timer is really cool though because it also works on your overhead projector. This has a stopwatch on it. This one was one that I just picked up at a garage sale. Was lucky enough to find a teacher who was who was retiring, and so I was able to pick this up for just almost pennies on the dollar. With the timer though, you can teach elapsed time, and the children can watch as the time increases on your stopwatch with this also. We also have a thermometer. We do a lot of graphing in kindergarten. We learn times of day, we learn morning, noon, night, things that would happen at different times of the day. With our graphing, we graph our weather every day, we graph the temperature, and one of the things that's been really nice with this nice large thermometer is that we also graph the temperature at different times of the day, and it's very easy for the children to see the different lines on the thermometer, and we learned that each line on the thermometer counts for 2 degrees on the thermometer, so that also helps with skip counting. We use pop cubes on a daily basis. With our pop cubes, I have them in sets of 10. We're learning how many it takes to have in a set of, or how many pop cubes it needs to have in a set of 10. We learn that 3 and 7 equal 10, or 7 and 3 equal 10. These are great placeholders. They also are very good for teaching counting by 10. So how many, when you have a 10 train in this one and another 10 train, when you put them together, how many do you have? 10, 20. Which leads me to my next tool. This is something that I have had so much fun making for my students to use. This is an abacus that I made with a 2-foot strand of rat tail cord and 10 pony beads. As we are teaching the concept of 10 and of place value, I have each child has one of these abacuses, and you can learn how to make different sets of 10 with this. I have 2 pony beads on this side, and I have 8 pony beads on this side. This is such a great visual for teaching greater than, less than. Which is greater, 8 or 10? Or which is less, 2 or 8? We use a ruler. This is good for teaching standard measurement and metric measurement because our ruler has both of those on there. This is great for geometry, for drawing straight lines, for drawing squares and rectangles, things like that, and very useful in the classroom. Now, another type of measurement that we use is my tape measure. This is a 16-foot tape measure. So when we line up, we might measure the entire length of our classroom line. We might measure the width of the sidewalk. We might measure the circumference of a tree with our 16-foot measure. Although we have a tree on our playground that's very hard to get this all the way around. Another thing that I use in my classroom is coins. This particular flashcard, we learn counting, adding and subtracting with our coins. We do sorting with our coins. We sort them out by pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and we do count by fives with our nickels, and count by ones, count by tens with the dimes. Another item that I use a lot are these paper clips. I love these plastic paper clips. What a great way to teach patterning. AB patterns, AAB patterns, different types of patterns. These also work very well for a non-standard unit of measurement, as do the pop cubes and different things like that. One of the things that I use quite frequently, I always keep blank index cards on hand. As you differentiate your instruction, as you are noticing areas that a child needs to work on, you might teach the number word 10, or as you're teaching tally marks or teaching using a 10 frame. This is so easy to do. A very quick little flashcard. You might carry 3 flashcards in your pocket, and when you're standing in line waiting on kids to come out of the restroom, what a great way to pull it out and say, Johnny, what is this number? The last 2 things I have in my math toolbox are my plane shapes and my pattern blocks. My kids love pattern blocks. We pull these out all the time. We learn attributes, we can work on this with colors, shapes, different areas of geometry with our pattern blocks. We can look at the world around us and try to determine different shapes. Where do we see those different shapes in the world around us? These are my plane shapes. This is a great thing for sorting. We also sort by how many sides does this have? Does this have vertices? What is this? Is it curved? How many sides does it have? How many vertices? Different things like that. All of these things are very useful to have in a math toolbox. I hope that some of these things have given you some good ideas for your classroom.